Hello everyone, welcome to 12am coding. And today we are going to discuss about a new concept in our Spring Boot series, which is logback. Okay, so if you have seen in our last tutorials for logging anything or for printing anything, we use system.out.println. Okay, so basically we use sout system.out.println in Java to print our things. But this is not a good method if we talk about the production ready application or if you are running on some remote server. So by default, this system.out.println will print your log on console. Okay, so what console means? If you run our application, then this is the console. So by default, the output of this particular system.out.println is this particular space. But let's say in your production application, you want to save the logs. So if like for 30 days back or 2 months back log you want to see, of particular time, and you can filter it also. So you want to send those logs rather than console to some different place. Let's say there are multiple applications, Splunk is there, Datadog is there, and multiple applications are there which handle these logs, which save these logs. But in case of the production real-time ready application, this is not a good idea. You can configure system.out.println, but it's not that easy, it's not that much flexible. So we need some framework which is having the compatibility to send your logs on some different platform like Splunk or Datadog, right? So for that we use a library. It is a very famous library in Spring Boot. Log4j is also there, but this is the new one and this is the latest one actually. So Spring by default provide the dependency of logback. Whenever you will create a Spring Boot application and include the web dependency into your build.gradle, this will default come. Okay, so we can enable it. Okay, so if you see, I just run this Spring Boot application and this is getting printed. So these are also logs, right? These are the bootstrap start time log of this Spring Boot application. So this is coming in particular format, right? That this time is coming, then info log, then this is a thread actually. This is the name of my application, Spring Demo. Then this is the class from where this log is coming, and this is the logging statement. Okay, so this is the by default logger actually. We are not using any configuration. So logback provide us the flexibility to configure your logging actually. You can define some patterns and multiple things into your Spring Boot application. So how you can do that? So simply, like as I already told, that in build.gradle, whenever we include this web dependency, automatically your logback will come with you. Okay, so to enable that particular login format, so for now, this is the by default Spring Boot login. But let's say I want some other logging, then what I can do, I need to create one simple XML file, which is logback, logback spring, okay, dot xml I need to create, and I need to provide some xml into this one. So we will be discussing about each and every line, what does it means uh, after some time. But for now, the main thing to consider is this particular pattern. Okay, so we are providing this pattern that first of all my log format should be the date and time, then the thread on which our particular log is running, then the level of log. So we will discuss about each and everything. This is a logger, and this is your message, and this is %n means new line actually after the log. Okay, so we will be seeing this particular log. Let me run my application now. So if you guys have seen, currently my log is like this. So let me paste it here, okay, into this particular file, and let me run my application again. I just added this XML. So my Spring Boot should resolve this particular file, and it should, so see, the different kind of log is coming now. So if I print this particular log here, then the format is different. The date time is again coming, but of the different format if you see. Then info type, then this number is gone. Then my class name, and then my log statement, which is same as we configured into our pattern actually. So this pattern we have given. So you are having the flexibility. You are having multiple option to configure your logs. That we'll be discussing in upcoming tutorials. But for now, this is the thing. So if you see, we just logged our statement. So let's see what this XML means in each and every line. So I have created this just a XML with some comments. So we will be reading and we'll be knowing what this is exactly. Okay, so first line is our XML actually, XML version and encoding UTF. What this tell that it tells the Spring Boot that this particular file is XML file. Okay, and encoding UTF-8 means that it can handle this XML can handle special characters also for different languages. This is what it means. Then second line is we are having the configuration. Okay, this configuration is open, then this is the closing of configuration. What does it means? Everything into your logger setting will be wrapped into configuration actually. Okay, so whatever logging concepts you will be defining, it will be coming under this particular tag. So this is the root tag of our logback.xml. Okay, then third thing comes is this appender. This is important. Okay, just concentrate on it. An appender is like a destination where the log message should go. So we can have different destination. As I told you, if you want to send the log to Splunk, if you want to send the log to Datadog or some other application, currently we defined as console. So it is printing out here. So in the upcoming videos, I'll be showing you, and it will be very interesting actually how to send the logs to some different destination. We'll be seeing that. But for now, we mentioned it as console, and in the class we defined this class actually, that console appender. Okay, so you can open this class also. Okay, this is just for the purpose that your log, whatever you are defining the pattern here, it will print in your console. Okay, so I hope this makes sense. Okay, think of it as a choosing where to write your diary actually, in a notebook or your computer screen or a file. So you can choose actually where you want to print. Here you want to print or some different application you want to print. This is what it means. Okay, encoder is simply a pattern actually. So whatever pattern of your message you want. So just now we have seen guys, right, that this is the Spring default pattern, but we have configured our pattern in this particular way. This is what it means. And then this is the appender part. Encoder means whatever pattern you want to print. Okay, then this root uh, XML, like this root statement is there, tags are there. What does it means? This is the main logger that controls all the logging in your application. Level info means it will show the message that are info level or higher. So this particular root logger, this will, like when you configure it right, this appender ref will be having the reference. So let's say you can have multiple appenders in your application. One is going to console, let's say second is going to Splunk, then third is going to some XYZ place. Okay, that's what we are discussing, because that's why we don't want to use system.out.println, because by default that log will go to Splunk, oh sorry, console. In the case of Splunk and Datadog, you need to configure that. So for that, different things are there. This class will also be different. You need to provide the credentials also where you want to send the log, because some authentication is needed. So in one tutorial, I'll explain this entire scenario to you. Okay, so for now, just understand this one, that we are having only one appender. So our root level logger will be the info. So it will be printing the info or upper level logs. Okay, and then appender ref will be, it will be concentrate on this console only. For example, you want to send to Splunk, then you need to provide the Splunk here. You just provided these particular appenders. Now it's up to you which appender you want to send. Multiple also you can define. Let's say Splunk and console also you want to print. So what will happen? Your log will be printing in console also, and it will be going to Splunk also. This is simply what it means. Okay, so let me delete these for now. We'll be seeing in some upcoming video this particular thing. Now let's understand this pattern actually little bit. So there are lots of these placeholders are there which you can use. So this, in this pattern, the first thing is the date and time. So %d we need to use for providing the date. If you will actually, let me show you one thing. If I remove this date, let's say, okay, and if I run my application with this time only, then only the time will be printed. So if you see, only the time will be printed, right, in my system. Okay, this is what it means, %d, then date and time. Then second thing is thread, actually on which thread your application is running, main or HTTP. So whenever you will run some HTTP API or HTTP request, then your this particular will be, rather than main, it will be HTTP, something like this. I'll be showing you. Then third thing comes is your logger actually. Logger level actually. Level means it will be like which level of log you want to print. Info, error, debug or want. So we will be discussing about these error types in some different tutorial, but for now just consider it as we can print a debug log or warning or a error also. Rather than info, we will be having the error here. Then this particular logger 36, what does it means? It means the class name actually, from what class your log is coming. Okay, and percent %n will be your new line, and percent message msg will be your the real message what you want to print. So let me show you one thing. I just created a controller, and let me create one get mapping here. In this get mapping, let's say public void fruit I'll be creating, and I want to log something. So by default, how we used to do, we want to print something like in the fruit. We want to print something like this. So for now, let's say if I run my application, okay, and if I'll hit localhost 8090, okay, my application is started. So it will be printing in the fruit without any specific format because I am using system.out.println. But for example, you want to use this particular pattern, this particular logback logging compatibility. Then what you need to do, there are multiple ways actually. There is a lombok also. So for now I'm not covering, I'm just keeping this tutorial as a very basic so that you can understand it in better way. So what we need to do, we need to create one object of a class. I'll be telling you. Then public static, sorry, private static final I'll do. In this I'll create a logger actually. Okay, and that logger, let's say I want the logger of slf4j. Okay, it's just a class, and let's say I'm naming it as logger, and then logger factory. Okay, logger factory dot, I want to get the logger, and I want to provide the class name actually, fruit controller dot class. Okay, and I can use this particular logger. So uh, let's say info log I want to print, then we can use in the from logback. Okay, so let's see how it will be different. So what I've done, I have just created a object of this logger which is coming from logger factory dot get logger, and I need to provide the class name here, like this logger in which class it is present. Okay, there are some other ways also to configure this logger object, but we will be discussing that later. So for now, let me run my application and let's see, because we have configured the log, and our system.out.println, if you see, it is not providing in some specific format. So if I refresh this endpoint, then if you see, system.out.println is printing your in the fruit, but your logger is printing it in some beautiful way. Like this is the time it is printing as I remove the date. Then it is printing http nio 8090 exe1. What does it means? It is coming from http. This is something, and then 8090 is my port from where it is running. Then exec, I think it's a that particular thread name or something, right? Then this, like, this is not that much important. The thing is, we are printing this particular format. Okay, then this info log, the type of level of log, then the class name, it is coming from fruit controller, and then this particular logger came because we have defined a dash also here after this. So I think you guys have understood it in very good way, and this particular file, you can extend this file at different levels actually. In production ready application, this XML can be very complicated than this particular very simple one, but I just kept the things minimal so that you guys can understand it better. So with this, we have just logged with a logback, and if you can see how beautiful it is, how easy it will be for you to configure into your application, and you will be seeing the logs in a very long run actually. If you want to see 30 days backlog, easily you can filter. So one day we'll be covering it in one tutorial, that how we can send the log to Splunk or Datadog. I think Splunk we can also see, so that you'll get a very good clarity about it. Okay, so yes guys, that's it for this particular tutorial. I just want to make you understand about this concept. So I hope you liked the video. If you liked it, then like, subscribe, and having any question, just mention in the comment section. So thank you guys. Let's see you in the next tutorial.